Hi folks, Dr. Dylan and Lord here at St Clair College RNI. Welcome to Discovery Junction, College Research Explorers. Hi everybody, I'm here with Fayed. Thank you for joining us today. This is our 5th podcast episode, and so we're super excited to have you. Did you want to share a little bit about who you are and what you're doing here at St Clair College?
First, thank you for having me. My name is Fuad, and I am a recent graduate from St. Clair College robotics program. I was also once a student researcher here at St. Clair for the robotics department as well. We were part of a project that allowed us to collaborate two kinds of technological devices, a collaborative robot and an AMR. We were tasked to make both of them work hand in hand together simultaneously to perform some tasks, and I was part of the research project that actually got that fulfilled as well. That was what my main task was as part of the research team here at St. Clair.
Great, thank you. And I know that you've been part of the STEM camp. So how's that been going?
That has been going pretty well. It is quite nice to see how STEM can impact life of the youth, life of kids. Most of them may not have been exposed to it as much as they would have liked. So it was a fun way of introducing them to the concept of STEM, how STEM can be useful to them as it is at the moment and also in the future. And it was a good sight to see that they were actually more interested in it than they when they left than when they came into it. So that's a pretty good sign that it was effective.
Yeah, and opening hearts and opening minds is a wonderful way to get young people engaged, and I know you've been part of that journey over the summer with them. So thank you so much. Over to Lord for the first question.
So Fuad, how can we make sure that research is useful?
Okay, so I think how we can make sure research is useful is if we actually use research in the right way. If we actually use research to solve problems that already exist or problems that would exist. So if we focus research on problems that we've already witnessed, that is when research is the most effective. If we decide to use research for something that doesn't really exist, then there is no point in it. So when we come together with problems and we try to solve them, that is research, trying to find more information about stuff that already poses a lot of challenges to us as humans or as whatever it is that we're trying to solve in general. So that if we implement different kinds of modes of finding how to solve those issues, that is technically what research is. So the more we steer in the direction of actually trying to solve meaningful problems, the more we can make research useful. And the less we steer away from stuff that do not actually pose any usefulness to us as humans or whatever it is, then we get better at becoming much useful, using research for the better of humans.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. So if we can bring it down to a micro level, how can we make research useful here at St. Clair College?
Here at St. Clair, we can make research much more useful if we use it, if we incorporate the idea of getting students more involved in it. Because I before I found out was by a fellow student that was already here. I'm sure that most students do not know that there are options for them to actually be involved in the research process here at St. Clair. So if we could maybe broadcast it a little bit more to them as part of we get involved, we could how do I put this in a better term, we make more awareness about research. That is basically what I'm trying to drive at. We create more awareness about research. We make it more obvious that it's an option for students to be part of this research thing, because it has been one of the best things that I've experienced right here as a St. Clair student. So I believe that the more students that actually participate in this research thing, the better it can get for us down the line. They can introduce more students to it as they also begin their St. Clair journey here as well. And we can never have too many good opinions. We can never have too many good differences in opinions based off of different things. So if we limit our options to a small set of people, then it becomes a problem. But the more we let everyone else know that there is this option of research, I believe it would make research more useful for everyone.
Okay, and just to finish off that thought, if there was 3 words that you could use to really describe the journey that you've had and the experience that you had with research and innovation here at St. Clair College, what would those 3 words be? Because we've got a lot of student listeners, right? So kind of talking to them and trying to anchor some of that powerful messaging that you've just provided to us.
Okay, so I would start with fulfilling. I think that is one thing that I would use, because it has been such a not just fun experience, but a useful experience for me, because it was related to what I was already here for at St. Clair, which was robotics. So having that has also given me more experience with what I was trying to do here as a student at St. Clair. So it was extremely fulfilling to have that, to work with other robots outside of class. So it was that's one of the things I would say it was extremely fulfilling. And also, based off the question, it also was useful, because the knowledge I gained from my research time here at St. Clair helped me out a lot, immensely, with my grades here. With my grades as a student, it helped me gain more knowledge than what I would have as a student in class as well. So it was useful. And I would also say it was I would say it was how would I put this nicely? So I would say it was, I don't want to use something, let's say importance then. Let's use important. It was an important part of my experience here at St. Clair, because before research, all I had going for me was schoolwork. I could not find a way to make life here at St. Clair more than schoolwork. But when I was introduced to research, it opened up lots of pathways. It opened up lots of pathways for me as a student to go further from what I was already into. So it made me not just limited in my options. It made me go further from what I already thought I had. So I believe that research would also bring that kind of experience to other students as well. It broadens their landscape. It makes them more aware of whatever options they could have here as a student. So it strays away from the one-dimensional come to school for classes, and it expands it into, like, you can also do this as a student, you can also do that as a student, you can also gain more experience as a student here at St. Clair.
Yeah, so useful, right? Yeah. Useful, important, and fulfilling.
That's right, I guess those.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Over to Lord. Next question.
What does progress in research mean, and how can it help us?
So progress in research means not being stagnant, always trying to move forward. That's the way I would say it. That's the way I would say that. If we are at one point right now, we should always strive to be at a point that is better than what we are, not what we're at. So that is what progress means, moving forward positively. So if at where we're at right now with St. Clair Research, I would say we're in a pretty good spot. We are trying to incorporate more students into it. So that is a very nice starting point, but we could always move forward with that. We could always try to implement more. We could always bring in more departments into research. That is one way we can progress in research. So not all programs here at St. Clair have the research department, like branches of the research department. So if we could try to bring in more of it and try to go into more projects, that may be related to other programs, I guess that is one way we could progress in research as well. Because mostly, I would say that the research that I've witnessed here at St. Clair is mostly related into maybe something to do with STEM, maybe science, technology, data analytics, stuff like that. We could also branch into other branches that may also need research, that we have students here in St. Clair that are actually taking courses related to stuff like that. So that is another way we could progress in research, I would say.
Yeah, and it's the people that we haven't tapped into
that
right. May provide more context on what is actually happening here. And it goes back to our motto, right? Rise above the ordinary.
That is right.
Right? So how do we begin to rise and lift not just the work that we're doing here in research innovation, but lifting our colleagues to come and join us on this movement. And so, yeah, that thank you so much for sharing. Over to you, Lord, for our final question.
How does research help us understand the world better?
How does research help us understand the world better? That is a good question. If we were to bring it into my my field where I'm from, research has shown me that there are a lot more options than what I thought was originally possible for me. Because I always thought that what I'd be stuck with, even in my program, because my program is robotics. So I always thought I would be stuck with working with just a specific type of robots, maybe industrial robots or stuff like that. But when I became a student researcher here at St. Clair and I got to work with projects upon projects upon projects, I realized that there were many options that I could branch out to. Maybe I could work with collaborative robots, or maybe I could work with automotive robots, or maybe I could work with robots that you don't have to be there with them for them to be able to do some tasks and stuff like that. So it expanded my horizon a lot more than I thought it would. So it helped me understand that the future is that I have a very good future. It helped me understand that that the outside world is a lot more broader than I think it is. So just because of the fact that I experienced those things here as a student researcher, it helped me to realize that I should not limit myself, that I should always think that that's where I'm going to go to in the future is bigger than I think it is. And because of that, it broadened my understanding of the world a little bit better than I originally came into to believe. So that's where I'd put that.
Yeah, and when we think about that onward journey outside of the walls of St. Clair College, it's really understanding how we're committed to the community that we live and breathe and understand as we make a sense of belonging and home, and how we're contributing to those in many different ways, in many different subsections of society, right? When we think about social sciences and we think about healthcare, we think about automobility and just general industry, and being able to connect the experience of being within the walls of St. Clair College and then making a connection outwards to the community and beyond is something that is really testament to the education that you get here at St. Clair College. And that's what we're trying to kind of build on and use as a lever to really enhance the portfolio of research and innovation here at St. Clair College. So I don't know if you have any kind of closing thoughts before we say goodbye.
Yeah, I do have one thing though. I believe that where the research department is at right now is really fantastic. You guys as a whole have been doing a very good job. And there has been signs of a lot of progress. Like, you guys are not just willing to stay at one spot. You're trying to be better and be better and be better. Where you're at like a couple of months ago is different from where you're at right now, and it is testament to trying to rise above the ordinary. You're trying to help not just yourselves as staff, as you're trying to help the students out as well as best as we can. The staff has been phenomenal. They've been extremely helpful to everyone, and I really did appreciate my time here as a student researcher, and I would recommend anyone to be a student researcher because it's going to help them out immensely.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Join us again next time